Hello students, today we will learn about our new chapter of civics, that is understanding government. In this chapter, first of all, we will talk about what is government. So, a group of people managing the affairs of a country is called a government. In every country there is a government because there are so many responsibilities, there are so many tasks which has to be performed by the government. So now we will see what are the functions that is to be performed by the government. So first of all, protect the boundaries of the country and maintain peaceful relationships with other countries. So there are so many foreign countries which has to be make a peaceful relationship by the government. Next they have to govern the country according to the laws of the land. Like we have the constitution, each and every law has been written there. So accordingly the government has to govern the country. Next, they build the infrastructure of the country. So we have so many things, so many parks are there, so many museums are there, so many national parks are there, wildlife sanctuaries are there. So there are so many infrastructures has been there which has to be built by the government only. Next, they has to look after the welfare of the people by providing education, health services and occupation and many more things. Next they also maintain law and order and provide help to people who are affected by the natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, landslides, etc. Now we will talk about the levels of the government. As the country is so big, so one person cannot handle the whole responsibilities. So that is why the government has been divided into some levels. The first level is the central level, the second one is the state level, the third one is the local self-government. So now we will talk about the first one, that is central government. When the government has to be looked after by the whole country, that is to be known as the central government. Means each and every responsibility of the whole country can be taken by the central government. So the central government is responsible for ruling over the whole country. It is also known as union government. The union territories come under the control of central government. As we all know, we have the central government, we have the state government, as well as we have some union territories also. So the union territories can be controlled by the central government only. Next we have central governments look after the matters of national importance like national security, relations of the foreign countries. Next we will talk about the second level, that is state government. So the government of state is known as the state government. Means when the government can only look after for one particular state, like for example Uttar Pradesh, we have Madhya Pradesh, we have Rajasthan, we have Assam. So there are so many states. So whosoever has been look after for one particular state, that is known as state government. It is located in the capital of each state. The state government make laws on the matters that is related to the state only. For example, to maintain law and order in their state, to provide the transport facilities, to provide health services, to provide education, etc. They all can be provided in their particular states. Next we have the local self-government. So first of all the central government is there, then it has been divided into the state government, then state government come under that local self-government. That means so many cities are there, so many villages are there, so many towns are there. So they has been separately governed by the local self-government. So number one, city is to be governed by the municipal corporation and the head is the mayor. Second we have the town can be run by the municipality and the head is the chairman or the chairperson. Third we have the village can be run by the gram panchayat and the head is sarpanch. Now moving on, next we have decided that the levels of government are there. Same as that we have some branches also. Okay, branches also required to run the government because all the laws, all the rules can be made by the branches only. So the branches, if we will talk about the branches of the government, there are three types of branches. The first one is the legislature, second we have the executive, third we have the judiciary. So number one we have to talk about the number one branch is legislature. So the work of the legislature is that they have to make the laws. They have to perform the laws, like we're having a number of laws to perform. There are lots of laws which has to be made by the government. So that comes under the legislature part. Indian president is the head of the state and exercises his or her power directly or through officers subordinates to him. Lok Sabha, the lower house, and Rajya Sabha, the upper house from the legislative branch. So we have two houses in the parliament. The one is the Lok Sabha and the other one is the Rajya Sabha. So they both the houses of the legislative branch. They have to make the laws. Then next we have the executive. Executive has to follow the laws, means whatever the laws has been made, that has been followed by the people, that can be checked by the executive. Third, we have the judiciary. Judiciary has to interpret the laws. They have to judge the people that everybody is following the rules or not, as well as they also provide the justice to the people. So these are the three levels of the three branches of the government. Now we have three types of government, that is monarchy, dictatorship and democracy. So now one by one we will talk about how these government functions. Number one, we will talk about the monarchy. So monarchy is a type of government in which a king or a queen can rule the country. Means the absolute power, the whole power is in the hand of a king or a queen, whosoever is running the country. In this type of government, people do not have the right to choose the rulers. Means there is no voting system, there is not a person allowed to vote and choose, nothing like that. Okay, a king or queen is there who has to rule the country, and this is a hereditary system also. Means once the king is ruling, if there has been died, then automatically his son become the next ruler. So this kind of government is known as monarchy. In the old systems we have seen that when the rulers were ruling, like Akbar was there, Jahangir was there, so at that time monarchy was functioned. Next we have the autocracy. Autocracy is that form of government in which all the powers rest in the hands of one person or a small group of people. In this form of government, people not allowed to indulge in any decision making processes. Means peoples are not at all allowed to give any kind of suggestions, to give any kinds of ideas. Whatever the person who is ruling, they can say, they have to follow it. They cannot give their own opinion, they cannot give their own ideas. So in this type of government can be followed in North Korea. Now last one, that is the most famous one, that is democracy, which has to be followed in India also. This is one of the most popular form of government, of the people, by the people and for the people. This has been given by Abraham Lincoln. People participate in political and decision making processes without considering their race or color. Means there are no differences between whether they belong to any of the religion, whether they belong to any of the gender. All are allowed to express their views and ideas. So our country is following the democracy only. Now democracy can be divided into different parts. That is, one is direct democracy and the other one is a representative democracy. And further, representative democracy can be divided into two parts, that is parliamentary system and the presidential system. Now first of all we will talk about what is direct democracy. So first is direct democracy is every adult citizens vote on every issue on which a decision to be taken. Means each and everybody is allowed to vote. That means the adult one only. This system works in a small country where have very less population is there, like Switzerland. Okay, because each and everybody is allowed to give the decisions. Next one we have representative form of democracy. So this form of government is that the people elect the representatives who then make decisions for them. Like we are having the representative form of government in India. We elect the leaders, we choose the leaders, then they have to make the government and they rule upon us. Okay, but they have to take the ideas, we can give our ideas, we can share our views and we can take the decisions on behalf of them. Okay, so this kind of government is a representative democracy and that can be followed in India and Australia. Next we have the parliamentary system. In this government, in this type of government is actually run by a prime ministers who are members of the parliament. That is to be the example of India. Then the next we have the presidential system. In this system, the president is independent of the legislature and heads the government. So here we have the example, that is Brazil and Indonesia. Now we have the universal adult franchise. That means each and everybody is allowed to vote. When the person will be 18 years of old, then he or she will get a right to vote. That is universal adult franchise, irrespective of their caste, class, gender and so on. Means you are not you will not be discriminated on the basis of all these things. You are allowed to vote. That is universal adult franchise. Next is why the universal adult franchise is important. So in a democracy, universal adult franchise is important because it is based on the idea of equality, means everybody is equal. It states that every adult in a country, irrespective of their wealth, irrespective of their gender, caste, communities, whatever it is, they have to has one vote. They have the power to give one vote. Now the most important part comes under the government, that is constitution, because whatever the laws we are following, whatever the rules we are following, that is all given by the constitution only. So what is constitution? The basic principles and laws of a nation, state or social group that determine the powers and duties of the government and guarantee certain rights of the people to it. This is known as constitution. Constitution can be of two types, that is, one is a written instrument, that is embodying the rules of a political or social organization. Now we are having a types of constitution. We have two types of constitution. The one is the written and the another one is the unwritten. Now next we will talk about Indian constitution. Some facts are written here. The first one, India has written constitution. Second has 26 January 1950 the constitution was legally enforced. Now, it took precisely 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to come up with the final draft. Next, the constitution was not typed or printed. It was written. It is the longest constitution in the world and it has been drafted by the chairman person, that is Bhim Rao Ambedkar. So thank you so much everyone for listening and have a nice day to you all. Thank you so much.